Hi, this is Olivia Rose Floral Designs, and today I will be showing you how to make a beautiful table centerpiece for your Christmas meal. So let's get to it. So first of all, you will need to purchase a plastic floral bowl. This one is made by Oasis, and you can buy these in Hobbycraft or an equivalent in a dollar store or probably on Amazon. You can see they're completely waterproof and they have these spikes at the bottom which help secure the Oasis. So I'm just going to pop that over there, and then in my bowl I have a brick of Oasis. This is the standard size which you normally purchase. You can get them individually or in bulk. So first of all, one thing I would advise is before you start any flower arrangements, especially with fresh flowers and foliage, is to soak your Oasis block in water. So to do this, you simply fill a bowl just slightly higher than the Oasis brick of water, just plain cold water, and you pop it on top and it will float. Allow the Oasis to absorb the water by itself naturally, and over time the Oasis block will sink until it's completely submerged in water. And they are pretty heavy. Okay, so once you've done this, we're going to cut the Oasis to size. So you can see on this side they are marked into 3 pieces, but we're going to need a larger piece than a third of the block. You can also see they mark quite easily, so be very careful with them. So I'm just going to hover over to give me a rough idea of where I need to cut the block. I normally do it with the writing so I can line it up with one of the letters. So now I have my tool. This isn't a floristry tool. It's definitely not made by Oasis. In fact, this was a wedding present 25 years ago, but I use it for my Oasis chopper. So I'm going to just pop it on here and just simply cut. Okay, so if I just get rid of that extra piece, I'm going to turn it because you can see it's slightly damaged on that side, so that side sits at the bottom. And I just want to show you here, I always go slightly over rather than too small, line it up to my pot and just chop a bit more off. Okay, so now what I also like to do is just tape my Oasis so I know that it's secure and it's not going to move about once it's in place. And again, this is Oasis tape, and I simply just pop that in there just for a little bit of security. Okay, so now we have the Oasis in place, I would like to pop my candles in. So I'm going for a nice Christmassy red. And as you can see, they're slightly different on the bottom. And the reason for this is you can get the plastic candle holders, and there's nothing wrong with them, and hundreds of people use them. But I prefer to have them a little bit more sturdier rather than just sat on top. So what I do is I take a small knife and I simply just, in my bin, just cut away at the edges to make the ends pointed. Okay, and then once that's in, I just simply insert it into the Oasis. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same on this one. Just give you a close up there, okay? So I go nice and slowly for the top layer that's coloured with the coloured wax, purely because I don't want to snap my candle. They're not perfectly shaped, you can tell. This one's slightly wonky, but it just makes it pointed and a little easier to pop into the Oasis. So I'm going to spread them out as evenly as I can, and roughly so they're kind of the same length. Okay. I always have a cloth handy as well, and I do have a bin beneath me because you need to clean as you go, otherwise it does become rather messy. Okay. Right, so we have our Oasis and our candles in place. and we're ready to go. So for our centerpiece, we're going to start by using this lovely spruce, which will give it a very festive look. So I'm going to begin to build my structure with the spruce. So I'm going to cut my first pieces off about so long, and then what I do is I pull away the needles and the stems at the very bottom and pop them in my bin. So you have a nice stem on there, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. What I also like to do is slightly bend, but do not put too much pressure on there because you don't want to snap them. They are quite flexible, but they're not elasticated. And what we need to do is pop them in so they are pointing downwards, so we get a nice downward shape. Okay. So I'm just going to work my way around the base of our centerpiece. And again, remember you have the candles here, so when you do pop the stems in, try to do them at an angle just to avoid bumping into the candle. Okay, this one has a slight lump at the end, so I'm just going to chop that one off. You can choose to wear gloves when doing this, if you would prefer, just to give yourself some protection from the spikes. Okay, I'm just going to spin that round so you can see the shape that's starting to take place. Okay, so you can see here I've completed all the way around my structure, and I have left some gaps because we do want to put some other textures and foliage in. So just observe what you've done so far and see if there's any other gaps that need filling. And I can see one. Just going to make that a bit shorter. I can see one just here. So again, you can move the tape just to make sure it lines up. And you just fill in that gap. Okay, so just going to have a little tidy up of the area. Okay, and what I will now add to the arrangement is some cedar pine, and this also just gives it a festive look, but it's a little bit more delicate, so a little bit more bouncier. Okay, so I'm just going to again cut my cedar pine, remove the bottom parts, and just pop this into the structure just to give it a bit more depth and a bit more texture. So I'm just going to go around popping some of these bits in so you can see. Okay, so we've gone round the whole of the centerpiece and filled in some of the gaps with both the spruce and the cedar pine. Okay, so once you're happy with the shape and the size, you can then start to add your decorations. So over here, I'm just going to pop these over. you'll be able to see some bits and pieces that I've wired together. So first of all, we have the pine cone, and it's from places like the Range or the dollar store, and you can simply wire them yourselves, or you can buy them pre-wired, but they are more expensive. I have also foraged for my own pine cones, and I do tend to dry these out, and you can dip them in snow or glitter using glitter glue. I've also gone and wired a few small baubles together just to give it some depth and variety. I've then gone and wired 2 types of berries, and again, some people like to use one type of berry, some people like to mix it up a little bit, and they have completely different textures and colours. With these berries, if I can just quickly show you a cost-effective way of doing this, especially if you're making more than one centerpiece. So you can buy the berries on stems like this, and then all I simply do is I find a piece that I like, and some of these do stick together, and I just simply cut the length I would like, and then I wire these and tape them so they become like this. And then that way you get more for your money. It's more cost effective than buying them already pre-wired, but it is more work. I've also done the same for these gold leaves. So in the UK you can buy a gold leaf already wired, and you probably get a pack of 5 for £2 or £3. Or what you could do is buy a garland, and these garlands are absolutely stunning, and you can use these throughout your whole home. But for the centerpieces, all I do is simply pull a piece off like so. So all you do is take a wire, which you can buy at any of your hobbycraft stores or online, probably at Amazon or direct with Oasis or any flower supplier. So I make a loop with the wire, hold it with my thumb, and I simply twist around the base of the leaf so you get something like this. And then I take my paraffin wire, which you don't need to use. I just do it because it makes it look neater, and I think it's just habit after wiring for so many years. So you hold that with your finger and you pull and twist. It just holds it in place, and it makes it a little bit safer so you don't prick your finger. And then I simply just cut with my wire cutters to the length that I require. Okay, so they're my decorations, and then I will also be using fresh and artificial flowers. The reason for this is because in the UK, and I'm not sure about other parts of the world, it becomes very expensive to buy red roses nearer to Christmas time, and you can only normally buy them mixed with other flowers in a pre-made bunch, which makes it very expensive. So what I like to do is buy the Velvet Touch red roses, and they are absolutely stunning and beautiful and are very, very realistic, and they come in 2 sizes. So I always use these on my centerpieces. With regards to my fresh flowers, I like to use either baby's breath, better known as gypsophilia, or the mini chrysanthemums, which just give it kind of like a wintry, snowy effect. And what I'm also going to use today is Ostra Myria, and these are also beautiful flowers and last quite a long time. Okay, so first of all I'm going to start with my Ostra Myria, and I'm just going to take these bottom leaves off first of all. And the reason I do that is because they die before the plant, they die before the flower, so it just keeps them fresher, and then you won't have the flowers giving up on you halfway through. So I'm just going to cut my stems to length, and I'm just going to pop them in down the bottom, down here. and you need a good few inches in the arrangement. Okay, so I'm just going to take another one and again remove those bottom leaves like so. I also do these when I pop these in a vase as well, it's not just for centerpieces. And it just stops that nasty smell you can sometimes get when you've had your flowers for a while. Again, when you're inserting your flowers, if you want to hold the oasis, and that'll just give you a bit more support when pushing them in. Okay, that one was a bit long, so I'm just going to cut a bit more of that. That's better. Always make sure you put it back in the same hole. Okay, so I'm now going to insert my red roses. So again, I just want to have a look to see where I'm going to insert them, cut them to size, and then you can just work your way around and add in those flowers. Sometimes, depending on how they're packed, you might just want to give them a bit of a plump up there. And the good thing is about being artificial, you can move them around and adjust them to suit. Okay, so I'm now going to add my pine cones. So I'm just going to work my way around the arrangement. You have to be careful where you hold your arrangement when you're popping the wires in. Okay, and I'm then going to add my baubles. So again, I'm just going to put a few of them around in no particular order, just to give it that festive feel. And again, you can put as little and as many of these in as you wish. Okay, so now I've got those. I'm going to put some berries in, but I'm going to put these in a little bit lower down. I'm just going to cut my wire on that one. So I'm going for the darker berries to start with the snow effect. So I'm just going to bend those down to match the shape of the spruce and the cedar pine. Just going to cut that one as well, it's a bit long. Gently lift flowers and just pop it in, just so it pops out at the bottom. Okay, I'm now going for my other type of berry. I'm just going to pop this in so it lays discreetly between the other decoration. So you can get a little bit fiddly, because the more packed the oasis becomes, the less room there is to pop in your accessories. Okay, so starting to take effect now and look very festive. Okay, so I now have my gold leaf, and I'm just going to pop this in between the foliage and the flowers. So I'm going to continue round, filling in all the gaps with the gold leaf. And I may even wire a few more pieces, because I actually love the way that discreetly shines through. And I think on this occasion, more is better. Okay, so as you can see, I've filled in the centerpiece with some more gold leaf. I've added a few more pine cones, and I think it's looking very nice indeed. I don't really have a set rule. I do pop my candles in first, and then I fill the centerpiece with the foliage, like the base, the foundation of the centerpiece, and then I do pop the flowers in each end and at the sides. The roses I tend to work from the middle and outwards, so they are the focal point, and then I just fill in the gaps with the accessories, baubles, berries, cones, gold leaf. And you can adapt and adjust, especially with the the accessories and the artificial flowers, and you can, bend and twist and put them in a position that you're pleased with. Okay, so now I do have one more extra touch I would like to add, and these are the mini chrysanthemums. You can see here they do come in large stems, and they do tend to be clustered together at the top. So what I do is remove all the leaves, again because they are the first to die, and you don't want a centerpiece with dead foliage in and leaf. And then I tend to pull off these bottom flowers as well, which is a shame, but we only really need the top view, and we don't want to overload the display. So I'm just going to pop him in there, and I'm just going to go round and add the rest. So again, you do need a bin, so please make sure you are prepared and you have a bin at hand for all this additional mess. Okay. That's it. Okay. So I'm going to use 4 of these. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this one to size and pop him around this side. Again, just removing the leaves and some of the additional flowers. Then I'm just going to pop him Again, you will come run into the tape or the candles or the other foliage, so don't push it in until you're sure there's a space, because these are fresh flowers and they will need a drink. Okay, so this is the finished product. I've just popped the mini chrysanthemums in, and this will hopefully give it a wintry look. So I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, with all the different reds and golds and greens and whites. So I'm just going to lift it there so you can see the finished product. You may also at the end want to go round and give some of the ferns a trim, depending on the shapes and how big you would like the display. Okay, so please subscribe to my channel. I am planning on uploading some more videos between now and Christmas, and thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.